Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the very first podcast known as Two Shit Blokes. My name's Jason. Sitting opposite me, a good distance away, thankfully, is my co-host. Please introduce yourself.
G'day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dave. I am the production person here, and Jason is allegedly the talent.
Talent will be used very loosely in this. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a podcast about everything related to the NRL, everything about horse racing, and a bit of NFL. We love our rugby league. However, we are just two blokes who never amounted to anything in the sporting world. So what we like to do, not only watch it, but also critique it and criticise it, but also give just our honest opinion about the game. We love the game. And this is like you and your mate will be standing there watching the footy yourselves with a beer in hand, talking about what you're seeing on the field. We don't worry about the little bits of off the field, off the ball crap that the commentators like to talk about, or the biasness that they go into some games with. We just call it as we see it. It's our opinion, but I can tell you where it's coming from, and that's from just a place of passion. We love this game. We'll also talk about horse racing. We do like our horse racing. It doesn't like us back. We also love the NFL. And we'll give a bit of chat about that. But this is mainly about the rugby league. We'll also give you a few bets that you should definitely not pick. And if anything, you should lay anything we give you as a tip, because we are horrible at picking anything. This should just be a bit of a laugh between me and Dave, just having a chat about the footy. What we intend to do is just go through the ladder as it is and do a bit of a season review, go team by team. We'll look at the top 8, the bottom 8, their run home. We'll have a bit of a chat about the NFL. We'll give you our best multis, and then probably give you even a bit of a horse racing tip that you should steer well clear of. This is just us having a chat and enjoying ourselves. So please, hopefully you get something out of it. If not anything, a bit of a laugh. I do apologise for the language. There will be some words that when we do disagree, the term listen, C-U-N-T, may be thrown in there. It's not meant to be offensive. It's just me talking to Dave because he really is a low human that you have to talk to in a very aggressive way sometimes to get your point across. But anyway, sit back, have a laugh, and let's get into it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so far we have seen some amazing footy over the months, and we're past Origin and we're now in the run home with probably, I think, about 5 or 6 rounds left. So we're going to look at the ladder, starting with, from the very bottom, South Sydney. So, from my opinion on Souths, I've just simply said injuries. Dave, what's your thought on Souths at this point?
Apart from the very ordinary football team right now, injuries. They're just absolutely ravaged with injuries.
Yeah, when you look at it, I've written down, not their names or anything, but obviously they're 1, they're 3, they're 4, they're 6. I've put the 7 in because it's a strange one. They've signed, I think, Dodds from England on big money, haven't played him or rarely played him.
Well, they hooked him on the weekend. So.
Yeah, they hooked him, which is a really strange move, but the money they're paying him, he was brought over by the previous coach, so not on a Bennett, so you have to trust
I think it was the general manager went over there and signed him.
It's a strange move.
But Bennett doesn't like him, don't rate him, and hooked him when he needed a halfback with 20 minutes to go. So obviously there's issues there with him, and he won't be around next year, but they paid big dollars for him as well.
Paid massive dollars for him, and I'm not saying he can't play. I haven't seen enough of him to say whether he can or he can't, but I trust Bennett. If he says, I don't want him, then you got to say, well, he's not good enough, because they'd rather play the human freak, and that is in the body specimen of what Humphreys, who just is a freak of nature. He's a bigger halfback, but they'd rather play him, which is quite surprising. But I don't think any team could go with their injuries and actually do anything.
I don't think it's a failure by Bennett or the Rabbits. They're just ravaged, and now they've lost Whiten through suspension. Should have got 12 months for hitting the shark player like that. Tackling too hard, was it, Jason?
We should say that Dave is a tragic Sharks supporter, and we'll get into that later. But, look, I don't agree with the suspension. I think 4 weeks for it is just massive overs. I thought even a sin bin at the time was either here nor there, but to carry it on and give him 4 weeks because he challenged it is ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't agree with it either.
I think also too, I mean, we haven't even touched on Cam Murray being injured. I mean, Cam Murray's one of the best second rowers in the game. You're going in without him. you're not going to be competitive in any world. So I think Bennett's happy just to put a line through the season and start them again next year. And even with their injuries, they're still competitive. And that's what I still think, they took the Sharks the distance. They will turn up and play. But when you don't have the class, it's showing.
Yeah,
so
I'll rip into the Sharks later for their total lack of commitment. But let's move on to the Titans, Jace.
Look, the Titans for me, I love watching them. It's a strange thing. I love watching them because they're so exciting to watch when they get it together. Like the game against the Warriors on the weekend, Jaden Campbell, and I say this because I'm in a super coach comp and the guy I'm playing had Jaden Campbell and he tore me a new one. And watching him play, just the freedom he plays with and the excitement he plays with is really, it's something. But it's very strange that you actually hear that they're shopping him around.
Yeah, they're shopping him.
Which just doesn't make sense. Look, they're fullback heavy. So they've got Brimson, they've got the other young kid coming through who's been injured. They've got Campbell, they can all play fullback. But when you look at that team, they've got Fafita on big money who hasn't barely played this year, and then he went to Des and wanted to play the other side, and Des said, see you in reserve grade, son. So I don't know what they're going to do with Fafita. They'll get a new coach next year.
Yeah, I'd say he'll go to Perth, to be honest.
Yeah, I never thought about that. That's an interesting take, but they'd see the back of him tomorrow, I think, free up the money.
$1 million bucks, isn't it?
Yeah, it's $1 million. Yeah, but it's a strange setup with them because you look at that team, it's not a bad team on paper. It is a good team.
It's definitely underachieved. I don't think for a second that they've met their, they're a good football team.
Yeah, look what they did to the Warriors. They went to New Zealand and they picked them apart.
Yeah.
This is a good defensive Warriors team and they just couldn't keep up with the Titans. And I think that's what they bring. They just bring that excitement when they put it together. But the problem is if they fade in and out of games, like the week before they lost to the Tigers, and we'll get into that.
How do you do that?
Yeah, we'll get into the Tigers later, which is they're my team. But yeah, I find that strange. Like I just don't understand how they can do that week in, week out. But that's the game, we love it. That's why we do love it. But when you look at that team on paper, they're very good. They're
a top 8 side. They should be, 100%.
They are. What do you think they're missing then? What is it about them? Are they missing toughness?
No, attitude. They're missing, they're on the Gold Coast. They're Caxton Street. No, not Caxton Street. What is the main drive down?
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about. Yeah, and it's been the same for the Warriors for years. Like
Titans.
Sorry, Titans. It's been the same.
Do better. Like fair income. We're here. We're trying to entertain people, and you're getting everything wrong.
Seriously, mate, you're the kind of bloke I wouldn't leave my daughter alone with. You are dead set.
You shouldn't. She's a child.
That's exactly right. You're a horrible person. I think that the Titans, it is that stigma, isn't it? That you go up there to have a holiday, not to play footy.
Yeah, totally agree. They should be top 8, challenging for top 4 with their roster, and they're just not good enough. But they're losing the 5'8" to retirement.
He was great on the weekend.
Oh, he was.
Cut out pass.
So they take the halfback and the 5'8" out of there. What do they do next year?
Yeah.
Well, what 5'8" and halfbacks are running around? I know one of them's retired, but what halfback have they got that got in the comp that they can replace the halfback with? They just can't.
No, I agree, mate. It's disappointing because, as I say, like even I find they've got the winger, Calm Pereira, who is just an excitement machine. And as I say, I don't see what Des sees. I just see a guy that if he sees any bit of open space, he's gone.
He's gone, yeah.
Can't make first grade. Put him in reserve grade. And I just find that.
But is that to do with defensive reads and...
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't think it is, mate. I don't know. He just might not fit the... And look, he's not going to be the Karaz where he takes the hit-ups and makes the grounds on, makes meters on that. But he is that guy that if you put a kick behind, he's going to challenge for that race every time.
Yeah.
I find it, again, I find it strange.
Yeah.
But again, I don't see what Des does. I'm sure Des will be able to pick us apart.
He won't be there next year. He's going to play golf. So what about the Knights, Jace? What do you think?
They're just average. They're just average.
They don't have a halfback or a 5'8".
The worst half. Willie Mason said it last year when they were in the finals that they got the worst half pairings in the game. And they all blew up about it, but he's true. He's right. They don't have...
Is Jackson Hastings the slowest halfback in the history of the NRL?
No, Sean O'Sullivan. Chad Townsend.
Oh, poor old Chatty retired too, but anyway.
A couple of years too late.
Oh, he got his money, leave him alone.
But Hastings, it's not about that too. Like, it's funny, when he was at the Tigers, he did things that everyone loved. Like, he paid for his own way to go up to watch him when he was injured or suspended. He did things that other players wouldn't do because everyone kept saying he's the ultimate teammate. But yet he's a guy that must be a polarising figure because wherever he goes, he only lasts a very short period of time before they don't want him there anymore.
Yeah, a bit like Maloney that was at the Sharks and went to Penrith and won a comp at the Sharks, and then they got rid of him because he annoyed the shit out of everybody. So
yeah, he's got a lot without the ability.
Look, my thoughts on the Knights are they lost a lot of firepower in their pack, which has just returned recently, and you've seen them return to form. And I've got to say, I'm not a Ponga fan, and I think that they've spent too much money on their salary cap with him. I don't think that Brown coming from Parramatta is going to make any difference to that team.
I agree.
And I think that, going forward, they're going to have some big problems next year because they're going to have, basically 25% of their salary cap wrapped up in two players that aren't performing. And, Ponga's hurt a lot.
Yeah, no, he is. Look, the Liz Frank injury is something being the athlete I am, I had the same injury. And I can tell you
Jesus,
now.
is that what, from eating too many donuts? What's that from?
I was chasing the ice cream truck down the road.
Makes total sense.
Mate, it is still to this day the most painful injury I had, but also the longest lasting. Like, I've had a shoulder reco and you recover, but the foot injury, because it's multiple surgeries to get it right. And I know they get all the rehab in the world, but I'm telling you now, it's like I would put it similar to an ACL. You don't come back quick.
Listen, just rub some dirt on it.
Get back into it.
You're getting paid $1 million a year, playing pain. Nobody cares.
He is a battler. As I mean, like, when the game's on the line, Ponga has not stood up against any class opposition that I've seen.
No.
To stamp his authority is what he is. And I'm not saying he can't do it. He just doesn't seem to do it.
Doesn't want to. He's getting $1.5 million a year, that kid's on.
Mate, he won the Dally M. And again, he won the Dally M, but I don't think he was.
So did Hines, mate. We haven't seen him since.
That's what I mean. Like, I don't think that is indicative of the stamp you have on the game. Like, Cleary, to me, is the stamp you have on the game. That you will dominate a game when it matters. And you don't see it from him.
Well, I feel sorry for Cleary because he can't dominate State of Origin, and I think that's rough.
We'll get into that.
We will. Para?
Oh, yeah. Eels, I don't know. They're just I feel sorry for them because they started without Moses, and I think that's tough. Like, whenever you start without Moses, and then they were pretty average actually, weren't they? They had
awful.
When the Tigers can put 30 on you, things aren't great. But they were competitive. What I did like to see was how they responded against Brisbane with Moses in the team. They were outstanding, and the way they ran harder, that they had great line speed. So I think it's showing what they can do. But throughout the year, they've been very inconsistent. They had no attack early on. Obviously, they've put Brown to reserve grade, which is a strange move. And I know they're moving towards the future, but I did like what they put with the new young kids coming through. I did like what I saw. What do you think?
I totally disagree with you. I think you're a complete idiot. I think Para, they ripped the guts out of the joint, got rid of the king, they got rid of Cartwright, they got rid of your best mate Madison, right? They did lose the halfback for most of the early part of the season, but I think the last 3 or 4 weeks, even without Moses in the pack, he only came back last week, I think they've been outstanding. And I got big raps on Riles. I know you're saying the jury's still out on him. I think he's going to be a Serraldo in the making. I really like what he's doing down there, and I really like where Para's headed, and I think they're top 8 next year, 100%.
I like their fullback, Iongi.
You can't pass the ball, but yeah.
He's only young. I like, even when they put their...
Well, by the way, Gutho didn't pass the ball while he was there either, so let's not get too carried away.
No, the king. No, the Papa... is it Papali? The
5'8"
that they put at fullback last week. He was outstanding.
Him.
Will Penasini, I think, is a very good centre. Lomax is a very, very good winger. The thing that concerns me, Moses is getting older. He's been injured injury prone the last few years. That gets worse as you get older.
That's true.
So,
and the game gets faster as you get older.
That's right. So his kicking game's the best probably in the NRL, probably one of the best I've seen.
But don't you think he's like a fine wine? Like I didn't rate him as a kid, but as he gets older, I seem to think that he gets better and better.
No, I think you're an idiot. No,
well, that's true.
Because I think that because the speed of the game changes and you need to keep up with it. But as you get older and the injuries start, like the calf, his groin, whatever it may be, and again, one thing he has not done is stand up against any quality opposition.
Except Queensland. But let's not get into that. Let's not get facts in the way of a good story.
At club level, you fuckwit. So I think that is...
What, he got him to a grand final? Thank God you talk shit.
And how do they go? They got blown off the park in the first half. He does not dominate club football.
Well, what team would have stopped Penrith in that game?
Well, that's his job, mate.
Right. If you're going to be a fuckwit, all right, we just move on. All right, West.
No, hang on. I'm not moving on yet. Do you think there's double standard in this? This is what I think about, right? Because I'm a weirdo.
Thinking, righto. That's a first for you, but anyway.
We will get on to Lockie Galvin, who we'll talk about him later. Mm-hmm. Tigers put him to reserve grade, and everyone's jumping up and down in the media about, what about his mental health? Got to look after his mental health. He's been bullied. He's been mental health, and we're concerned about him. Dylan Brown gets dropped to reserve grade. No one says a word.
Yeah.
His is not form related. It's simply we're moving on.
Yep.
So they would rather put him in reserve grade, basically isolate him. You're not having anything to do with our first grade plans moving forward.
Yeah.
Why are there double standards like that? Do you agree or do you think I'm wrong?
Well, I think that Riles has pulled the right rein by, the season's dusted, right? Yeah. So you're going to blood your young blokes.
Okay.
Right. Cool. And when Lockie Galvin was, going through his issues, which I'm going to tee off on.
Yeah, me too. Yes.
I think there was a completely different situation, and he's 19, and he's been manipulated by adults. So we'll get into that later. Let's get into your
one other thing. Too.
Come on, mate. Seriously, this is Parramatta. We don't even like this team.
On Brown though, you were at the game.
Yes.
When he returned.
Most highly celebrated. Do we have to say alleged or was he convicted?
Convicted. So, Dylan, this is rugby league at its peak.
At its greatest, yeah.
Dylan Brown is suspended from rugby league for a number of weeks because he got drunk and decided to feel up a girl, indecently assault her numerous times throughout the night, pleads guilty. In his first game back...
Standing ovation.
They Paris fans give him a standing ovation.
Well, we should all... Well, that's rugby league, right?
It is so rugby league. Jared Hayne could walk out for the Parramatta team and they would give him a standing ovation.
None of this is alleged either.
No, it's not alleged. It makes you laugh. It's got to make you laugh.
You can sue us if you like, Brownie. We have no money, so good luck with that.
All right, let's get into this shit.
Tigers. West Tigers. Do you want me to start?
Go.
Because I know you're emotional about this.
I've followed the Tigers through everything. For 40 years, I'm a Balmain supporter. Now I'm a West Tigers supporter. So you start and I'll finish.
I was wondering, I want your opinion on this, when Buzz Rothfield became on the coaching picking department of the West Tigers.
Right, and for people that don't know, the whole idea of having Benji Marshall and Tim Sheens co-coach until Benji would take over from Tim was an idea of Buzz Rothfield.
Correct.
That is how stupid it is.
Which he now denies.
It's recorded.
Yeah, I know, but don't let the truth get in the way of a good story. Nothing we say he will stand by in 5 minutes' time either.
I'll deny it. Denial's even here. So you go. Continue.
Right. So I personally don't think they've got a head coach down there. I don't rate Benji's coaching at all.
I agree.
It's probably the first NRL coach in the history that has not gone through the junior ranks. He was parachuted into the job.
There've been others.
Have they been successful? No. Well, that's, like you look at Riles, you look at Serraldo, you look at all those blokes.
And you are right. The ones that get parachuted in are not successful that I've seen.
Yeah.
Recently.
And the other issue I have with what Benji's doing, and it's reportedly that Luluai and what's the hooker's name? No, the hooker.
Oh, sorry, Coruscant.
Are in his ear, right? And they've got control of the club. And then
That's rumoured, mate. I don't believe that
I
for
believe
a second.
it for an absolute
No, that's
100%. Well, why did they just sign him? Did they just sign Coruscant for 3 years?
They gave him an extension.
Over the other young bloke that went to Parramatta that's playing the lights out?
I've got no playing the lights out. He's playing like 15 minutes a game. Playing the lights out.
A lot better than seriously.
You're a dead set. You're a gibbering idiot.
That is true.
Yeah, continue.
Yep. So I think that the tail's wagging the dog down there.
No, wrong. Anyway, continue.
Right. And I think their attack is absolutely disgraceful. It's slow.
Completely agree.
Mate, I can read it you can read it from 10 kilometres away what they're doing.
Completely agree.
They're not throwing anything at anyone.
No.
And their D's been okay, but they can't defend their mistakes.
No.
And they can't play for 80 minutes. That's the issue. They're not fit enough. They're not hungry enough. They don't wrestle enough. They don't train enough. They're not doing anything enough. And that's because they don't have a professional NRL coach.
Completely agree. But I'll go. Now it's my turn. They're a shit team.
Sorry, fell asleep. Sorry.
Listen, gun. They're a shit team.
Yes.
They have no attack. None.
Yes.
It's embarrassing, their attack.
It's like your Simpsons Crocs. They're embarrassing.
They're amazing. Don't knock the Crocs, mate.
Crocs suck. Anyway.
Their defence is extremely poor. Now, where it's concerning is that, and anyone who follows the Tigers will tell you this, they will let more tries in the last 5 minutes before the half and before the end of the game than any team in the NRL. They have no ability to close out a game. They have errors galore. They have players that are playing first grade that would not be in the top 25 of any NRL team in the comp. And I don't like, I'll call them out because I do feel very strongly about like Alex Seyfarth. I feel he is not strong enough and too many errors and poor discipline.
He wouldn't get into the Thelmere Roosters A grade side. He's that bad.
Yeah. It's the errors and the discipline.
Yeah.
And it's also the way that he gets dominated by the attack.
Didn't he score a try a couple of weeks ago?
Every dog has a day. But he does, mate. Like it is. Players like he was a regular starting back rower, and then there was a game recently where for the first half, I think it was against the Raiders, they embarrassed him. And then they made some changes, came back in the second half, still lost. But again, he starts on the bench and then they bring him on. I just find there's too many errors in that team. There's a lack of discipline. There's a lack of accountability. You're right. They are not strong enough. They are not fit enough. They are not tough enough. I watched the Dogs on the weekend, and we'll touch on them. They strangled Manly. And what they also had to endure was 20 minutes of Manly trying to beat the piss out of them.
Yep.
And they responded and just kept coming and coming and got them. The Tigers are going to be beaten by 60 this weekend because of that. They do not have the toughness to play. And I also find it telling that the Tigers, and it's a weird way of looking at it, but I'm a weird bloke, as you know, the Tigers have the least injuries of any team in the NRL this year. And I personally think it's because they just play soft.
Yeah. I always find that if they're ever in a position to win the game, they'll drop the ball, give a penalty away.
Yep.
They literally can't help themselves,
Yep.
but they only win by falling over.
Yeah. And the Galvin thing, I don't find that a distraction. That is just a player moving on. De Silva is a player moving on because they had Coruscant, and I do rate Coruscant as a hooker. I know you may not, but
I rated him. I just think he's getting old.
He's getting old, but he still plays at a high level.
You don't get rid of your youth over keeping a...
Yeah, in this situation, I have no issue with
but
it.
They're paying top dollar for him, Jace. That's the issue.
Yeah, but they were going to pay top dollar for De Silva.
I would have rather paid that and invested in what you could get in the future.
There's no right or wrong in this one, mate. I think that...
No, there is. You're wrong. I'm right.
The early losses, they lost to the Knights in round 1, and I think the Warriors shortly thereafter. And in both games, those teams scored or had 80-metre line breaks to win the game.
Yeah.
That's just not first grade. That's not. That is poor. And Benji can come out and talk about, we're improving. They're playing the way we want it. And one thing with Benji, he's got Terrell May playing the best football of his career. he is getting the best out of some players.
Yeah.
But I think as a team, they are not tough. They don't contest the high balls. Their line speed is shit, and their attack.
But do you think Terrell
woeful.
May's playing at that high level just because that's where he's at? That he's not being coached to play at that level, or he's just because from what I understand, the guy's a physical.
He's a freak. He's a freak. But you look at it though, I think he also. You look at what he did with your mate Ryan Madison. I know Benji wasn't there, but the Tigers with Ryan Madison. Ryan Madison played his best football at the Tigers under, I think Madge was a coach.
Yeah.
They trained him hard. They got him match fit, ready to rock.
Yeah. Then he
made
whinged.
Origin. He whinged. They got rid of him to Para. He never went back to Origin. He lasted a season until he decided to take a financial take a suspension instead of a financial.
By the
penalty.
way, I did meet him, and he's a lovely bloke.
Yeah, great guy. Terrible teammate. Great guy.
Oh well, some people got flaws, mate. You've got plenty.
Some teams, I think they can develop in that, and I think the Tigers can develop their players like anyone else. But I do think that fitness,
they developed Galvin, right?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Galvin got a start when no one else would have started.
My favourite player, Ray Stone, came from the Tigers before he went to Para. So they developed him for a while.
Yeah, yeah, and they do. And you're not going to. Yeah, I think that the Tigers have the ability to develop players, but what I do think they need is a coach that knows how to get fit, get ready to play, and play for 80 minutes, and hold them to account when they don't.
Yep.
Because right now that simply is not happening.
The other problem with the Tigers is their head office won't back the coach. Because Madge would still be there if they backed him, and they'd be playing a lot better football than what they're playing.
I think Richardson is trying to change that, but he's given Benji everything he wanted at the moment.
Yeah. You got to stop listening to Kenty, mate, because that's what he carries on with.
But if Richardson fails,
I disagree with him though.
If Benji fails, it's all on Benji, and
Correct.
I think that if they again win another spoon, you'd have to punt him and say you're done. But
you look at them on 13th, right? You got Eels that strip the joint bare, right? You got the Knights who've got no halves. They're coming good at the end. The Titans shouldn't be there. They're falling over on their own accord. And you got the Rabbits completely busted by injuries.
That's right.
If those sides were performing another 5 or 10%, you're getting the spoon.
Yeah, but you can't use that argument. That's ridiculous. No,
you
can't. That's a ridiculous argument. They're there where they are because they've won some games that are close and they've lost some games that are close. They lost to Penrith within a bee's dick because Buller got a hip drop tackle on the goal line. They came back against Canberra and they came back against the Cowboys to lose within points.
You're saying that you think that the Tigers have improved from last year?
They've got better players than last year, but I don't think they've improved.
Well, that's
the
why you should
quality.
punt. That's why you should punt the coach.
I agree. We should be punted.
Yeah.
God, yes. All right, moving on.
The Dragons. I'll do the Dragons. One of my favourite coaches of all time. Won my Sharks a grand final in 2016. They just don't have the cattle.
Explain.
Well, if Cole Flanagan's your halfback, you got massive dramas.
Disagree.
Okay. It's an entitlement. You can. It's a free country.
Okay.
I just don't think they got the cattle to like that. Canterbury only beat them because Sloane ran out of the line and the play the ball penalty, which wasn't a penalty.
Yep. True.
So they're going. I think they're overachieving.
I think they're just an also ran. They're average.
Yeah,
and they lack class. I agree with you. They lack class with Flanagan. This is their recent losses. They lost to the Dogs by 2, as we pointed out. That was Tyrell Sloane. That's unfortunate. Yep. They lost to the Raiders by 4, and they lost to the Warriors by 1.
Yep.
So 7 points. They lost to 3
of
the top 4 teams.
Even though they're on 12, they're in 12th spot and probably not going to make the finals, right?
Yep.
I think they've overachieved. I think Flano's done a great job.
No, I disagree that he's done a great job. And I really rate Braithen Astor. Did not rate him at all until he actually started calling out some of the stuff at the Tigers, which was pleasing to hear. But even he was saying, and he's got to be careful, he's Lachlan Ilias's his agent. And even he said that Lachlan Ilias has done everything asked of him. He's taken the reserve grade team, I think, 10 out of 11 wins. So they've won their last 10 out of 11. He still will not put him back in first grade.
Yeah.
And I don't rate Ilias, don't get me wrong, but he has done everything asked of him. And they're saying now that the reason they're not playing him at the moment is because he lost his last game. That is not right. Like King Tongia, if that's it, and I apologise if the name's pronunciation's not correct, was extremely poor in defence. And Kyle Flanagan, to me, I think does a job. But again, I think Lachlan Ilias deserves a shot for a team that's struggling.
Yeah, I'm talking about with Kyle. I think Kyle's a quality first grader, but you're never going to win a comp with him.
No, you're not going to win a comp with him. But
they're on a rebuild, and they've got to find themselves a good halfback.
Yeah, they do struggle against the good teams.
I think Cookie's playing well down there. I think that changed. He wasn't going real well at South. He was probably unhappy there. He's playing some good footy.
He's playing good footy. The Jacob Little is mate, I rate him highly. Came from the Tigers.
King's been outstanding, by the way. Like, leaves Parramatta, didn't have a pass in him. Gone to the Dragons, setting tries up all over the place. The bloke's playing awesome, and he's 1,000 years old.
No, probably no knees, and he is playing well.
Yeah,
he could not pass a Parra last year. It was 2 hit-ups by Gutho, and then
he stifled their attack.
He did. It was bad. It was bad. We can admit that. But I think that I don't know. I don't know what they do with Sloane. Again, I think he could be a Perth Bear. I think he's too good to be on the wing, but he does need to learn defence.
Yeah,
and positioning, because he was embarrassed. That game against the Dogs was embarrassing.
That was embarrassing. You come out of the line like that and don't take anyone.
That was embarrassing.
Ran into the Breeze.
Yeah, and I feel sorry for when that would happen, because you've literally just cost your team.
Yeah, but there's too much of that going on in the NRL where you've got wingers coming in coming hitting the bloke 3 in on the hero play to stop the play when they've got a 3-on-3. And all they have to do is keep their line and move up in a straight line and tackle what's in front of them. Yeah. And they're too often you see a winger come in at 100 mile an hour to do the hero play and hit the lock or the ball playing back rower to try and stop the play. There's too much of that. There's no that's not percentage football. That's garbage.
No, true. All right, no, I wear that. I don't know where they put him though. I don't think he's a winger. I think he's too good a talent to be sitting there
these days for a winger too.
Yeah,
the wingers are 6'4", 95 to 100 kilos, battering rams now.
Yeah, but he's got class, mate. Anyway. All right, the Cows.
I really like Todd Payton as a coach.
I have him at the Tigers tomorrow.
I really like him, but I don't think he works up there.
I think. Do you think it's been there too long?
Yeah, I don't know if they back him up there to support the coach enough.
I think it's too long. I think
JT's $1 million 10-year contract's really hurting them up there because they're not getting the minutes out of him, and they don't look like a happy outfit to me.
Yeah, I never thought about JT's contract. Actually, that's a good point. I think defensively they're poor, and when you look at the points they've leaked, even when they win, it's 20, 18, 16, 18, 30, 28. That was against the Tigers. The Tigers were 28 on, 24 and 32. That's when they're winning. Yeah. So, you're not going to be competitive.
Well, you look at the points on the weekend, right?
Yeah. Look, the Dragons kept coming.
The only thing that happened in that game was there was no tackling. It was
and they were scoring
about 8,000 missed tackles each.
Yeah, but the Dragons were scoring straight through the middle, and that's concerning. Like one thing, they started 0-3, which is not great. The thing I've liked about them is Purdue, the young centre, and I say centre because he's a dynamic centre, but they put him at 5'8", and it simply failed. Yeah. Like he's not a 5'8" that I've seen. I know you need to develop him, but at that young age, he is a dynamic centre. And why you would sacrifice that and put him at 5'8", and when they can't score points. No. When you've got Drinkwater, Dearden, they're good attacking players, especially Dearden. We've seen what he can do.
Oh, mate, he's
outstanding.
He'd be in the top 4 or 5 halfbacks in the comp, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. So, and then Drinkwater is, I find him to be a very, very good football player. And with a ball in hand, he's outstanding. But that should be enough. But they're not losing because of attack. They're losing because of defence. Yeah. And that's a mindset. They're not going in there. Todd wouldn't be changing anything. They're just not responding to it.
Yeah, I think that too. I don't think they're responding to him, and I think poor old Todd's probably, if he doesn't get flicked this year, he'll be getting flicked next year if they don't make a deep run in the finals. And they should be. They should be up there with the other teams. They shouldn't be losing like they are.
And I think he goes this year if they don't improve. That's where I think it's at. All right, the Roosters. This is an interesting one, actually. After 7 games, the first 7 games, I thought they were going to be wooden spoon. I thought the signing of Chad Townsend was just bizarre. They
didn't pay him much, though.
Yeah, I know, but to have him in there, and you watch their attack with him in there, slow and just pedestrian. They went 2-5 in the first 7 games, and then I found that they've really come on. Like, obviously, I call into their recruitment a bit. Like, Townsend signs Dom Young, the cheese, and then Spencer Linu, obviously, is there at the moment, and everyone rates Spencer. I'm not a fan. I don't see much out of Spencer. I don't think he...
Apart from his racism, he hasn't really offered much, has he?
We could say the same about you. But, like when he was at Penrith and he signed with him, I thought Spencer Linu, within years, will be the best front rower or best forward in the game. His aggression, his strength, how he played the game. But he is not developed. There isn't an offload that I've seen in him. He doesn't seem to have the minutes that other quality front rowers have. He comes off the bench. They tried him at lock, I think, on the weekend, and that was mixed success. They went after Fafita hard. I don't know. They used to be so good at their recruitment, like Tedesco, and they've done well with Marky Mark, the winger.
Yeah,
but Robert Toyer,
he's outstanding, Marky Mark.
But again, on that, like on the weekend, they got Mark on the on the wing.
Yeah, he's a dead set centre.
That's one part. They did not go to the right. All their attack went down to Tupu's side. Tupu scored 2 tries. He's great in the air, all that. But you have Robert Toyer and Marky Mark on one side getting a cold. Yeah. Robert Toyer's outstanding. And he's up against, at one point, he was up against Chan in the centres. Chan's a back rower. Didn't even try and mix it up with him. Barely touched the ball. And Mark did nothing in attack. So it's a strangely coached team in that respect. And Robbo's a very different character, and no one will ever beat his team. He'll always find an excuse that the refs beat him.
I tell you, I'm over that stuff.
It's bullshit, mate.
Tedesco had a go this. The message must have went out to the coach to stop having a whinge every time you get beat. So Tedesco had a go this week, saying that they were robbed. But
they weren't robbed, mate. He was offside on that try they scored.
100%.
And the forward pass was 50-50, and I have no issue with being called forward. But that was a square up because he was clearly offside, and Bellamy would have had every reason to blow up.
Yeah,
that was.
But they blow up every week. He blows up
everywhere.
Robbo and it's never his fault. If they get booed, he blows up. If they don't get booed, he doesn't say anything.
Yeah, and it's never his fault. It's never the team's fault, and it's never because of his opposition being good.
And it's never says a good word about the opposition ever. So, but I do think Tedesco's playing really well for an old bloke. Yeah. I didn't think at the last couple of years that he'd probably come back to the field. He's playing as good as ever. He's actually getting a pass in his game. I always had a knock on him because he wouldn't pass the ball.
One thing I will criticise him on, and he was being very good for most of the season, the last few weeks, he was good against Melbourne. He was very average against the Sharks the week before. So I don't know if
the Sharks made him look ordinary, mate.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's because the season's getting long and he's getting old.
Yeah.
So because he was not having the impact he did. When the season first started, I would have thrown him in Origin. He was outstanding. As the season's gotten on, he's losing a bit of that touch. Hopefully he can find it coming into the finals because they need him to start.
I don't think he'll make it. You seen their run? That's awful.
We'll get into that because it is hard. But again, they've got Sandon Smith, who I think is playing outstanding. They've got that Hugo, the halfback, I think he's quite good. The thing with DCE next year will be interesting because Hugo could walk. And they'll get DCE for 1 or 2 years, and I don't think.
No, it's only a 1 and a coaching contract allegedly.
I
do say alleged. Don't sue me, DCE.
DCE again. We're gonna. I think that's a bad signing. DCE at the moment, he's playing like his age.
Yeah.
So he's.
He was good the week before, but he hasn't. Last week he was awful.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think he won't be the quality they need. They're at a bit of a tricky side at the moment because next year Tedesco's a year older. DCE is going to be, they'll have probably one of the oldest fullbacks, one of the oldest halfbacks. I just don't see where.
Well, they're throwing the kitchen sink at him. So,
and they got, I know they got Robson coming down from the Cowboys, very good hooker. But again, you have time will tell. But yeah, it's last week's game against the Storm really hurt them. It was a really
their run is awful. They're cooked.
Mate, they should have beaten the Storm. Tupu drops it over the line. The Storm had no Pappenhausen, no Munster. Hughes went off, and they couldn't put away. Harry Grant tore them apart, and it was the best I've seen Harry Grant play. But again, they should have put that team away.
Manly?
They're just hard to gauge. If they're at home, they'd beat Penrith at their peak. If they're away, they wouldn't beat the Tigers. Well, they'd beat the Tigers, but they probably wouldn't beat Souths. They're just not. They're too inconsistent. The game against the Dogs was concerning because they looked slow.
Yeah.
Turbo was beaten several times in defence, which was really surprising. Speed got on the outside of him. I was surprised by that. Brooks has not kicked a goal since the last, I'd say, 12 weeks. He's just not exciting in attack like he used to. And when I say used to, he's a running 5'8", and I find him really he troubles the line, but he has been average. DCE, average. Hopewadi was poor on the weekend.
Oh, awful.
Their forwards, they're struggling. Again, I'll say, like, I know the Lodge family, I love Matt's parents, thought he was outstanding in the first 20. They take him off and they don't bring him on until the last 20. Like, I thought he was outstanding. I don't know your take on it. He took it to the Dogs pack.
I watched him play his first game against Para.
Yep.
He came off the bench. I thought he added a bit. I thought he was a little underdone on the fitness side of things.
As he would be. It's his first game.
But, mate, the reason why they didn't sign him for the whole year, I don't know. He was their best forward on the park for Manly since he came back at Parramatta. He's been outstanding.
It's just a strange team, mate. I think Kula, their centre, is a superstar. I absolutely think he's one of the best centres in the game in the next few years. I think he's as good as anyone you'll see. But then you go into, I say their inconsistency. They beat Canberra at home in round 3, 40-12. But then from round 10, they went loss, win, loss, win, loss, loss, then went on a small winning streak, and then got belted by the Dogs on the weekend.
Yeah.
That's not the form.
They smashed the Sharks at home and then got smashed by the Sharks at Shark Park.
Yeah.
So it tells you. Look, I've got to be honest with them. I actually don't mind Manly this year. I don't think they're happy. I don't think that camp is very happy at the moment. There always seems to be this air of drama around Manly, and I think that the Sea Eagles have got some internal issues.
DCE would have hurt. Like when your captain says, I'm out, I'm leaving, that would hurt. And you saw what Jake said. Like Jake Trbojevic, everyone loves Jake. He was gutted. And, they've re-signed him and Turbo. I think mainly just because of what they mean to the club.
Yeah.
What
was the coin like? Does anyone know what the coin was for that?
I think it was about 600 for Tom. That's what the rumoured talk is. And Tom was good.
If he's fit, that's. I think that was that minimums that he could get to by the.
Yeah.
Because the NRL's got this range where they can pay them.
I think it is the minimums, but I think he does owe them.
Oh, for sure.
You're paying $1 million for a guy that has been injured a lot, and Jake's not the same player he was. Like defensively, I'd hate to run at him because he will not miss you. He's an outstanding defender, but he doesn't add much in the lock forward or the prop range. But he's the guy you'd love to play with, not sexually like you would, but I mean on the field.
Yeah. Okay. Are we done with Manly? Yeah. You fucking asshat. The Dolphins.
Oh, mate, who doesn't love the Dolphins?
My second team.
Yeah, they're just great to watch. Look, for me, the Dolphins, obviously they're 8th. Started 0-4 in the first 4 rounds, obviously. then they really showed their colours against the Storm. I think it was round 7. They tore them apart.
Oh, they tore them apart.
And it was just that free football everyone loves to watch. The injuries that have really hurt them is Nikorima. Nikorima is a very good offset to Katoa, whereas Sullivan goes in to replace him, and we see with Sullivan, he's just too slow.
He's a good backup.
He's too slow, mate.
He's a good backup, but he's not even. You know, he's okay at guiding them around the park, but they've already got a bloke doing that.
That's what I mean. And what's been great to see is the development of Katoa. He's been there for a few years, and he's outstanding. He'll be earning 1.5 in the next few years.
Like he's New South Welshman. How exciting is that?
He's outstanding, and he's young. Herbie's an outstanding centre. Obviously, you got the hammer, the speed he has.
What about Ray?
Yeah, come on, man, Ray.
What about Ray?
Ray's outstanding. Look, the Dolphins have scored 50 points 3 times this year and 40 twice. That's impressive.
I love the toughness of their pack. Yeah. Like they've lost Gilbert, Plath. You know, they're 2 very, very, very good footballers. And they've lost the front rower as well, who's got that neck injury, who's been gone all year.
Do you think – I'd like to think that's an offset of Wayne Bennett being involved with that club, teaching toughness. That's what I think. I think Wayne Bennett is just the ultimate guy you want to bring into a new club.
Yeah, I do like Christian Wolf. I think he's done an outstanding. And you know what I liked about him? When they were 0-4, right, he didn't come out and lash out at the players. He just, we're going to stick to our process and we're going to do this. A lot of new coaches, and they go on the Bennett curse and all that load of crap that they carry on with, right? He didn't buy into any of it. He just kept doing his job, and I respected him for that. And I think the players did too, because it would have been very easy for him to start dropping blokes. And Christian Wolf he's going to be a very, very good coach for that team.
How they've handled that club, how they've handled that club from its inception is, I think, a blueprint for what you want your.
Are you crying, mate?
I'll get emotional. Sitting next to you, it's the odour in the air. I think that they are the blueprint for how you want any club to start. And I think Perth Bears should look at that model and say that's how we need to.
It was the old hardheads they got to come in.
Yeah, you get the hard boys, and then you get the young players to come, and you just have to be patient.
And you got to get Stoney in there and just tackle everything that moves. And it was. I think Terry Ryder's done a great job up there. Yeah. He's done outstanding, and I would say that Bennett had a fair bit to do with that as well. But I think Bennett is a pretty good judge of a football player. And he brought the right cattle in there. And the other thing I respect about Bennett is he didn't rip the guts out of the joint when he left.
No.
I think he only took one player.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. I think that he set him up for success. And
they're
thriving.
It's really respectable. All right, well, let's get on to the Sharks.
Oh, look, I'll start because you're a fan of the Sharks, but...
They got tissues in here because I may cry.
They lack class, and that's as simple as that. I think... Nico Hines is probably the nicest individual on the planet. And
he's much nicer than you, mate.
But I do think, unfortunately, for Nico, the bigger the game, the worse he plays. And there are some players in the NRL, past and present, that have that reputation. I think Braden Trindle, again, is very similar. He will carve up the Tigers and Souths and those teams below. But when it comes up against quality opposition, he is absolutely embarrassed. I think your wingers are a liability, as good as they can be on their day. They are a liability. I have enjoyed watching the emergence of your hooker Brayley this year. I think he's been nothing short of outstanding. Your pack are good. Your centres are very good. Losing Euro is hurtful because I think he was scoring a try a game. Like, he was a handful.
Yeah.
But I just think it's a class issue. I look at him and go, I'd love to have that team on at the Tigers, but when push comes to shove, you win some games, but you also lose other games in ways that, through discipline and errors that just don't fix themselves.
So I think Hines has got spiders. I think that he's a confidence player. If he's not confident, he's a liability. I can't believe that they signed Trindle over Atkinson. I don't even. Trindle is not good enough to win to be in that controlling 7-6 position and win us a comp.
Will Kennedy was, I think, leading the Dally M Awards early in the season, and that form's fallen away.
Oh, yeah, and you say, Trindle's good against South. He was terrible on the weekend.
Yeah, actually, you're right.
He was
him and
woeful.
Hines. Him and Hines.
Woeful.
Yeah, I had Hines as captain of my Supercoach team, cost me significantly because and it wasn't the play was just the errors, like dropping the ball regularly in attacking position, like it was bizarre. It just made no sense for two quality halves to both play that poorly. I don't know. Do you think it's preparation?
No, I just I'm worried about Fitzy being too nice.
Yeah.
Being too tolerant, being too stick to his players and back them all the way, and hope they produce for him. And I don't think it would have hurt Hines to go back to reserve grade to get his confidence. They stuck with him.
I disagree. I think that would have shattered him. You saw he got picked for Origin, and that is the greatest travesty I've ever seen. Picking him in Origin because you didn't want to. He was in such good form that you wanted to have him and Cleary, but you didn't have the guts to drop one of them or not pick one of them. You'd always pick Cleary. They should not have picked Hines. And then they put him in centre. He got beaten.
He got lit up by
Munster.
Munster.
In the last 7 minutes, they lose the game, and he has never been the same since, and it's not fair.
Well, that's New South Wales. I did that with Mullins. We're fantastic of getting a young bloke that's playing really good football and destroying him. By the way, we picked him again and did exactly the same thing. He got lit up again and then hooked him.
Yeah. Oh, man. That game shattered
I don't
him.
want to get into New South Wales garbage, but they do pick the flavour of the month.
Oh, they do. We'll talk about that.
One day
I'm
we'll
not
talk
done
about
yet.
it. Not today.
Not
But
today. It's
with
too
the
much.
Sharks, my other issue with the Sharks is I honestly think that the two wingers and the centres are too aggressive and they give away too many penalties and they attack the ball too hard and they make too many mistakes.
Molitano,
Your best mate.
is a fuckwit.
Right. On the field.
On
he
the
might
field.
be a great bloke offered.
On the field, and I say this with respect to him.
By the way, you're a fuckwit everywhere you go.
24/7.
Righto.
All right, we've established that.
Yep.
But on the field, I don't understand a winger carrying on like he does. And you watch them against Melbourne.
So they baited him big time.
They against Melbourne in the first game they met, the Sharks won, and he gave it to the Storm. Gave it to them.
Yeah.
The Storm come back in the second game and just tore you apart. And every time they did, they scored or any error, they went straight after him. That tells me that the Storm were just so motivated. Why would you give motivation like that? I don't understand.
To a good football team.
To a good football team.
Yeah.
Play your game. Win it on the field. Don't be a fuckwit.
You can give the Tigers motivation because they can't execute.
Oh,
But
shit.
the
We're
Storm-
horrible. Horrible. We've established
I
that.
just think Mulatalo, he's way too aggressive.
Rocks and diamonds, mate.
What's the centre? The other one?
Ramian.
Ramian.
Jesse Ramian.
Jesse Ramian. He's so aggressive. And I love that about him, but he's too aggressive. And he gives away penalties. And he makes mistakes. And, there's one thing to be really, really aggressive, and then there's another thing to actually play within yourself. You can be aggressive and not get beat, but without giving penalties and making mistakes. So,
No, I agree with that.
all right, the pennies.
All right. We're in the run. Oh, no, you skipped the Broncos. You don't like them.
No, the Broncos are fifth, mate.
No, the Broncos is...
My list. It's probably for and against. You can do whatever you
I'm
want.
going to go the Broncos at 6
Because you're always right and you're the talent. Righto.
Yeah, pretty much.
You're carrying
Just
this
sit
podcast.
there and listen and learn, all right?
Okay.
All right, so...
Should I write notes? Jason is a complete fuckwit. Right, got it.
Listen. All right, so Broncos, I've just got inconsistent defence and Walsh. So Reece Walsh is a superstar of the game. I've never seen fans gravitate to a player, young fans that I should say, and I say that being at the game with my daughter and seeing how even she has no interest in rugby league, but she knows who Reece Walsh is. he is an outstanding football player, but at the moment, there's too much inconsistency with his play and with the Broncos' play in general. And more so, they're losing the middle in defence, and they're getting rolled through. And they've got too many good players in the middle that aren't responding. It's strange to watch. They've got two outstanding centres. They've got an outstanding fullback. They've got great halves. They've got a team on paper. And I watch when they beat the Dogs, when the Dogs were flying, they had a game plan and dismantled them. Just absolutely destroyed them. They came back against the Dogs and beat them again when they were behind by 18 in the last 20 minutes. But then you watch them against the Eels, and they seem to just fade in and out with too many errors, and then got beaten by like Moses doing a beautiful kick for Lomax, or another try by I think Sean Russell doing a kick and chase after another kick that was not contested. Little things like that just creeping into the game, which makes no sense. Like, this is a great first grade team that are making too many simple errors in the game. It's like they just have these brain farts and think class will get them there, and they're not willing to do what the Dogs and Penrith do, which is choke teams out. They don't have that in them at the moment.
Yeah, I agree. I personally think they're their roster is the benchmark of the competition.
Yeah, I agree.
My only issue with the Broncos is that they seem not to want to do the hard stuff. They seem to want to be flashy and throw cutout balls, and they don't play percentage football, and they don't play within themselves. And I think that, you get Roxon, you get Walsh will do a 30-metre cutout ball, hit the winger on the chest, but then he'll try and do it 9 more times, and it'll go over the sideline every time, or hit the ground, or the winger's not there. Or he's a hero man.
I agree.
Right, he's a highlight reel, but he's trying to do it on every play. And if he just played consistently within himself, he'd be a very, very good footballer.
I think even Madge seemed to have the shits with it on the weekend. I think he's struggling with the inconsistency of it, and it's disappointing. It is. You're right. They are the benchmark, and they're not delivering.
Correct.
Panthers, they started 1 from 5. They lost to the Souths. They lost to the Cows. It's strange. And then in those games, and we spoke about it, even though I didn't like talking to you, we did still speak, that they were so slow in attack. They were pedestrian. They were getting dominated. Teams were just running around them. But then all of a sudden, they've just started to grind it out as Penrith do. They choke teams out. They beat the Dogs in what I thought was a classic game of rugby league, 8-6.
Yeah, it was outstanding.
You don't say that much about a game.
I prefer those games.
Oh, that was, when you got a same game multi on when you need try scorers and no one scoring, it is frustrating. It's a shit go, but to watch those games, that game, the defence was amazing.
That was one of the best games of rugby league I've seen this year. It was outstanding.
Yeah, no, without doubt. And then you look at their defence since round 17, they allowed 6 points, 10 points, 10 points, and 2 points. So they are hitting their straps, and everyone in the comp should be shitting themselves.
Yeah, I don't think they can win it, but I certainly I like what I'm seeing. I think it took a while for, and I've obviously pinched this off another commentator, but I think it took a while to work their defensive structure out.
Yeah, they were getting beaten. You're right. Like defensively, it wasn't like Penrith. People would call it un-Penrith-like. But the concerning part was their attack was so. I thought they had no speed.
Yeah,
none. And even now, you watch them. Everyone scores tries except for the wingers. And I say that like I'm sure they have scored Jenkins and Todd, but betting on the game, you bet on their wingers and they don't score. Yeah. It's their forwards and their centres. They get in positions and they perform. They are a very good rugby league side, as we all know. Cleary's an outstanding coach. I think they're going to peak. They got the development of Casey McLean as a centre. I think it sparked him because he wasn't in there.
What about Blaze? He was absolutely awful at the start of the season, and he's killing it now. I really like the way he's playing.
And they put him in reserve grade for the first few months. This is a guy that last year was outstanding.
Yeah.
And he's a future, I think, a future superstar. And they had him in reserve grade. They just have been brilliant. And I think they're coming on strong. And one thing I do feel, and I'm probably completely wrong, which I'm wrong all the time, is Edwards looks to be injury-free.
Yeah.
And last year he hobbled into the finals and they won. But he is at the moment as damaging as anyone because, again, going back to Supercoach, if you don't have him in your side, you're not going to make the finals because he's that good right now.
Agreed on all, and Cleary is an absolute freak of a coach. So,
all right, we're into the last four. So starting with the Warriors. Yeah,
Can I ask a question, Jace?
Yeah.
We've been crapping on for an hour. Is anyone going to hang around for an hour and listen to all this bullshit or what?
Well, this is the thing. Like, it's hard because we're doing a summary of the year.
Yeah, it's really hard.
So what do? Do we just fuck it off?
No, I think we just keep going.
Yeah, I think we see what we sound like.
Well, this is what it is, Jace. This is our podcast. I don't give a fuck what the other people think. So we'll just do us.
I think that people will listen because...
Which people? Your mum? My mum? My mum's going to be angry about it. My mum's angry about the language from day dot, right? She's going to go, David,
my mum...
I've got to explain to her how to get the thing off.
My mum's not listening to this.
She will.
Look, I think people will listen to see if they're going to cancel us.
We'll give a shout out to Jazz and Josh. How you going, boys? They're the only two blokes listening. So
one's your son and the other one's your gay lover.
Well, you were into him before me, so...
Mate, I think, like, talking about footy, I think if it was a week-to-week thing, you'd be able to narrow it down a lot quicker. You just go through the rounds. But this is going through the whole year.
Yeah.
And I've got no issue. I think we're great. Well, I am. I'm carrying you. But
I am the producer, so, you know, I'm only here for my good... I'm not here for my good looks, that is for sure.
You're only here because you can afford it. All right.
You know what's funny about that? Not lately. Thanks, Albo.
The Warriors, after round one, they were dreadful and I was concerned. But then they won so many tight matches. They won by 8, by 2, by 2, by 4, by 1, by 4. And then that shows me they're tough. And they are, mate. They're a tough team to play. But unfortunately, at the moment, injuries are starting to pile up.
Lost the front rower.
Lost Metcalf.
Yep.
That's huge. Tanner Boyce played well against the Tigers, but I think I could play well against the Tigers at the moment. But again, last week against the Titans, they were woeful. They got lucky against the Knights, very lucky. Bounced off the upright, and then the fucking second row picks it up and scores. Like,
it was a good scoop.
It was a good scoop. Won me my same game multi. God bless him. Shout out.
What a bloke.
Did
you give him a kick?
Oh, of course. The mistakes they're making is hurting them. They've struggled lately. I don't know.
Who's the front rower that's gone?
Is that for North? No.
No. Well, he's gone to the Sharks.
What's his name? The guy, Fisher Harris?
No. He's
Barnett.
Barnett.
Yeah, that's massive,
hurt.
mate.
That's
massive.
Hurt.
They got some good young players there, but they got some good depth as well, but they're just not. I don't know. It's funny. They're just. I mean, any team that loses, they've actually lost their 5-8 as well this week, so they're starting to struggle.
Yeah, I can't see them making the 4. They'll be in the final.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But again, if you look at their roster, I reckon they've overachieved.
I think Webster's an outstanding coach.
He is.
And you know he's good because he was at the Tigers and they got rid of him.
Well, that is a signal.
It's definitely the sign of a great coach.
Yeah, if they're smart enough to get rid of him, or he's smart enough to get out.
I tell you what, though, and this is in all seriousness, his brother is a very, very good coach as well. James Webster, very good coach. Was a Balmain junior, actually played first grade, but also had played something ridiculous like over 100 games in reserve grade, and then went over to England and had a very successful career. And then went into coaching. He's a very good coach as well. So,
you can assume that the Tigers won't touch him.
Definitely not. Too good for us.
Storm?
Fuck. They're so inconsistent. But they got the class.
But they're in third. This is the problem. You go, they're inconsistent.
They are inconsistent.
They're in
Look
third.
at this. Look, they lose to the Dragons by 6. The next week they beat Manly 48-24.
Yeah.
They beat the Tigers 64-0, then lose to the Sharks the next week 31-26.
Yeah.
One thing that concerns me is the amount of points that they're leaking.
Yep.
And they've shown it all year. They'll go up by a big margin and let the other teams back. It's not the Storm of old. Like, it's I will say I do think that the win against the Roosters on the weekend is a defining moment for their season, because they should have lost. As I said earlier, the Storm had no playmakers and they found a way to win. And I think now that gives them a really good segue into the finals.
Yeah.
Again, their defence needs to improve. Their discipline is horrendous, and it needs to improve. And on their discipline, it's funny, Big Nelson, he's in and out of first grade all the time, either through suspension or through being benched.
Yeah.
And last year, he was one of the key reasons that they made it.
They've got another monster there now.
Yeah, they do. But last year, he was the reason they made it to the grand final. I thought he took them forward, but then he got suspended in that game before the grand final, didn't play, and they got fucking towed up by
smashed.
Yep. So he is a liability, and they're paying him big dollars. So I'm surprised.
Well, I don't know if he'll be there next year.
I don't think he will be.
Yeah.
I think they'll just say you're free to go elsewhere, and you'll be offered huge money.
He'll go to the Tigers and do nothing.
Yeah, well, we like that.
Yeah, that's what. Anyone heard of Blair lately?
Why are you a fuckwit? Well, you are the lowest human.
All right, let's get into the big bad dogs, mate.
I will preface this by saying that I hope Lockie Galvin gets genital warts and his dick falls off. I fucking hate that human being.
Well,
Now,
I think you're being a bit rough.
No,
You want to have the conversation?
please.
Okay. I think he's 19. All right? His daddy and his manager have manipulated the system
Of
to
course
get him
they're
to the dogs.
manipulated. Look,
That's not on the kid, mate.
oh, fuck off. You make decisions
Well,
as
he's
adults.
19.
You make decisions as adults.
He's 19, mate, and he's playing in the big boys' world. He's just doing what Daddy and Isaac's telling him
You
to
know
do.
the thing for me, all right, and I don't begrudge him wanting to get out of the Tigers, all right? I think that, and this is my opinion, he got out of the Tigers because he wasn't the main man and he wanted to be. I think that he went to the Dogs because he wanted to go to a winner.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to be losing. And I understand that. Like, you're 19, you're used to winning, and all of a sudden you're getting towed up, you're not going to make the finals again, you'll probably come win another spoon, and you're an also-ran. I get it, but the way
it's
they
not like
did it...
he wasn't getting accolades for
Yeah, but you can get
playing for the
accolades.
Tigers.
You get accolades in a losing side. That's great. Well done. It doesn't mean, like, he's gone to the Dogs for less money because now he will play finals. He could even win the grand final this year. He wants to be their seventh.
Well, I don't think they will win. We'll get there. We'll get there. But all right, my opinion on Galvin, we'll give that. If I was the Tigers, they gave them $100,000, right, to lose a reasonable halfback that they trained all off season on. And I've said this to you privately before, but I'll say it now in public that they should have sat him in reserve grade for 2 years and copped the 600 loss and teach anyone. And I would have got. And I know that the hooker that went to Parramatta's another Isaac Moses bloke, but anyone who's managed by Isaac Moses would not be playing for the Tigers. If I was running that club, I would have arseholed. I'd be getting rid of anyone who's got anything to do with him.
I agree. And we spoke about it. I would have as well. In saying,
I know that's vindictive, and that's a bit against the kid.
No, I agree with it, that thing. My also disappointment is that I felt that to not get a player in return is baffling. Like,
it's
you could have gone after
crazy.
any of their emerging young players, like even the young kid Bailey, who is still floating in and out of their starting 13. He's definitely in their 17. He's an
But
up and
why didn't
comer
they go for gold and go, we don't want $100,000, we want Connor Watson.
because he doesn't play for.
Not Connor Watson, but Connor Tracy.
Oh, mate, I would have said, we want Matt Burton.
Hey.
You're not going to get him. Or, mate, I would have said, I want young player, and they know who's coming through. We want this. Yeah, they need a centre and they need a second rower or a front rower, and they said all they need is we want one of them.
Yeah, but Connor's utility values
Oh, it's outstanding.
priceless.
Yeah, it is.
So that's why you would grab him and give him, and he can play centres, he can play wing, he can play fullback, he can play 5'8".
I would have gone for a younger up and comer that I felt could have contributed in the next 10 years. I thought they got done in that deal.
Well,
it was perfectly orchestrated by their manager. If I'm the Tigers, I would be saying to Buller, the fullback, we will not deal with you any further.
Well, the
because
Roosters won't deal with Isaac. So.
I'd say you're done.
Yeah,
and
you're done.
Go and find another club willing to pay you $900 a year for fullback. And if you go from 1 to 17, there isn't one.
No.
Every team has a fullback.
Well, we've got 2. Sharks have got 2.
The Dolphins have 2.
Yeah.
They got the hammer and they got Trey Fuller. Fuller was outstanding last year. He's playing reserve grade. There's enough out there, and I would not even negotiate with him. I wouldn't even entice him. And they've allowed he's shopping Buller around to see what interest is there, because the deal with the Tigers was done under a different manager.
Yeah.
So he wants another deal, so he gets his cut. I wouldn't even get anything. So back to the Dogs.
Okay.
The Dogs are an outstanding football team that I only realised that on the weekend, to be honest with you. I thought the game against Manly, holy shit, they were impressive. But when you look at their team positionally, they got the best centre in rugby league in Crichton.
Maybe the best player in rugby league.
I can't believe how good he's been.
Yeah, he's awesome.
I can't believe how big he is. He's a massive unit.
Oh, he's huge.
And he's just outstanding.
Great leader.
Yep. So
outstanding.
They've got the best winger in the game at the moment in Carraz.
Yep. How he didn't get picked in State of Origin, I don't know. Anyway.
His work on the weekend, again, offloads, is unbelievable.
By the sounds of him, he's actually nice bloke too.
Oh, mate, looks it.
Absolutely.
Their 5'8" Burton's out is brilliant. Like, I love watching him play. They got two of the better second rowers in the game in Preston and Kick Out. They've got Reid Marnie seems to even put the grub away and he's playing his best football. Connor Tracy is playing his best football. Bronson Cherry has defensive issues, but again, he's lightning fast and made Tom Turbo look very average on the weekend. That game to me said something that, I thought they were all average. I really did. They've won 2 games to 0, so their defence is good. They are turning it on teams regularly, and they're strangling teams. So they look like Penrith in their prime.
Yeah, you got to play every single second of the game to beat them.
Yeah.
I think they're outstanding. I think they're coached outstanding, and it's a shame Gus Gould's involved.
Can't stand the bloke. I will say the thing that concerns me, and we will know in the next 6 weeks, they have had an easy draw.
Yeah.
So in the first 10 rounds, only 3 teams in the 8 they played. And I think Brisbane was one of them that we spoke about. They tore them up. I think there's issues there. I think that will be the litmus test, but if what they did to Manly is anything to go by, that they're fine. But they will be able to handle it.
Well, they got 2 pretty hard games on the way. They got the Storm, and they've also got the Roosters. So we'll see where they're at.
See, this is why no one likes you. You're just jumping ahead, mate.
I'm just giving you the stats, mate.
Just calm the fuck down. I really like them. I hate to admit it. And I say it, Lockie Galvin does not make their team any better that I've seen.
Well, he just shoveled on the weekend. Mate, I could have done what he did on the weekend.
Yeah, I agree. I think where they will struggle is if the game management becomes an issue, because Burton and him, they're both 5'8". They're both runners. And I think if they need someone to actually get in that real dogfight, they've shown that they can score points and they've shown that they can be tough. But when they start coming up against a Melbourne team that's ready for the finals, or a Penrith team that's flying, that has that quality half, it'll be interesting to see. I don't know if they can match it with them, or if they fall behind early, how they will respond. I still am concerned about their front rowers. I know Max King,
a bit light.
Mate, Max King in Origin is dead set.
Good on him for getting paid.
Mate, good on him, mate. And it's going to add a couple of zeros on his fucking next contract. But he got in there because Laurie Daly watched him run 80 metres behind a winger to try and stop a try. He has no offload.
Don't get me started, because I'm going to go on a May rant on how he didn't play Origin. But anyway,
mate, I just think that I do love, and we both say, like, whether you're a Dogs fan or not, and I know their fans can be quite intimidating at times in the game. But we've been at games with the Dogs fans, and they are fantastic.
And it's a really great atmosphere.
Oh, they make it, mate.
It's if you want to go see, if you're not a rugby league person and you want to go see a proper game of football, go to a Dogs game. It is unbelievable.
Mate, there's footage on Instagram of a Dogs fan. I think he was about 6. and he's turned around to a Manly fan and given him some tissues during the game. And the Manly fan just pissed himself laughing, mate. We were at the game against Para last year. And
bruising our asses off, yeah.
And they were phenomenal. They were engaging.
But it's not only that, it's the drums after the game. We didn't see it. We bailed because we wanted to leave before Lockie Galvin scored, which he did, and we were lucky because we would have necked ourselves. Yeah. But after the game, they're singing, they got the drums going. It's the closest thing to an NFL game you'll get in Australia. It's outstanding.
Loved it. All right, last team, Raiders, they're first. They deserve to be there. 3 losses all year. They lost to Canterbury with a big comeback, which was very unusual. They actually lost 2 of their first 4, I think. I'm pretty sure that's right. And then they lost the big comeback to Canterbury, which in round 10, which was very strange. They smashed them in the first half and then just clocked off.
Yeah.
Oh, they're too good, mate. A friend of mine is associated with the Raiders and said...
Going to name drop or what?
Oh, hell no.
No.
And coming into round...
That's very unlike you, mate.
Coming into round 1...
I saw you drop Logie in there.
I did. Dropped his family. Love his family. Kaz, Jamie. In round 1... they were so confident of beating the Warriors, and it was simply that how fit they were and how strong they were from a pre-season under Ricky. And my God, did they deliver. And they have delivered.
Mr. Moneybags over here that went to...
I went to the NRL in Vegas. Fantastic. I'll tell you what, I'm tempted to go and watch the Dogs over there because they'll travel and they will be amazing.
Is that going to be good for Australia?
Oh, they won't know.
Will we have no fly passes for half the Dogs fans after it?
I never thought about that.
I love your doggy fans, but you're lunatics.
His name's Dave. So...
Jason's address will be in the comments section.
I love the Dogs fans. I think they're fantastic. But I think they've shown that they can win the close ones. They're fit, mate. They're tough. They bash the shit out of you. They've got an exciting fullback. They've got good wingers. Jed Stewart is a great finisher.
Yeah, he didn't want to give him a crack. He didn't want to show favouritism
he's an older,
to his son. Yeah,
he's an older debutant. Their centres, I think, are probably one of the best combos in the game. They're 5'8", Ethan Strange, mate. Huge raps on him.
Oh, yeah. How strong is he? He got Munster vibes, right?
Oh, mate. Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah. Fogarty's a big loss next year.
Listen, don't you be rapping me.
I didn't rap you. I just
you said good point. Like, I'm not having you be nice to me. It's not happening, mate.
No, you're okay. My bad.
Yep, don't do it again.
They got a good, even next year, they got a good halfback from Parramatta coming through. It's interesting that they bought Brayley from the Knights. I don't see where that fits with Starling and Owen Paddy.
Yeah,
that's 3 hookers. Only really need 1, 2 at most. I think Owen Paddy's a superstar in the making. Their pack's outstanding. They're gonna be tough to beat come the finals.
Yeah, my only problem with them is that they drift in and out of games.
They've got that in them, and that's been for years under Ricky. They will go in the first half and be outstanding in the second half. But this year it's actually been a bit reversed. They haven't started well, and then they've come back.
You can't afford to give the Dogs or the Storm or anyone 14 points, 16-point head start. You can't run it down.
You can't. And they'll just choke you out, especially Penrith and those teams. But one thing I do like about them is they will bash the shit out of you for 80 minutes.
Yeah, as my mum says, I don't like the Raiders. They tackle too hard and they bash people.
They are.
I love them for that. I love violence.
Absolutely.
Especially if it's against you.
You are a horrible human. All right, so let's go into the run home then.
All right. What do you want to do?
Well, let's go. I mean, who's winning and why? So who's going to be in the top 8?
Well, I don't think it's going to change much.
No, I agree. All right, top 4. Who's going to finish higher?
I think the Warriors will drop out and the Panthers will go in.
Yeah, okay, I agree with that.
The Storm, the other 3 are locked in.
I don't know if they're locked in. I think the Dogs, their run home is harder than most. Okay, so they've
got enough buffer to see out the next couple of weeks.
They've got the Tigers this week. They'll lose that.
What are you giving the Tigers head start?
I told the Tigers the only thing saving the Tigers will be the weather, because it won't be a 60-point game. If it's 2 p.m. on Sunday. If that sun shines, they're dead. Like the Tigers will have 60 put on them.
Let's hope so. It's good for multis.
Yes.
Any times.
But they've got the Warriors at home, the Roosters, the Storm, and they finish the Storm and Panthers. Those 2 games will be really hard or really important for them, because if they lose both games and they go into the finals as second or third, but they've lost to those 2 teams,
Psychologically,
right? So yeah, I agree.
But on the flip side of that, they go in and smash both of them. They're going to be hard to beat.
Then get on. Yeah, I think the Storm, they've got a tough run home as well, but I still think they've got the class.
Anything coached by Hughes is a huge loss.
Yeah, but I think
leading up to the finals.
Yeah, it is, but they got cover, and then he'll come back for the finals. Yeah, and Pezzett, not Pezzett.
There's rumours going around that Wishart and
they won't be there forever.
Munster are going to Perth.
If Hughes extends,
he has.
Then I want to say Pezzett. I'm sure that's his name. He has a get out clause.
Yeah, he's gone.
So he'll go. And
I don't know if you look out St George. I'm hearing.
No, you're hearing nothing. You're an idiot. The only thing with the Warriors coming forth at the moment, they do have an easy run home.
Yeah, but they're busted.
Yeah, but again, against easy competition, like they got the Dragons at home, the Eels at home.
The Eels aren't easy.
At home. Warriors, mate.
They're not that good at that. It's not a fortress down there.
You're a dickhead. All right. Brisbane's run home isn't bad, but again,
I have them as 5th.
Yeah.
And the Warriors, it's around 6th. The Panthers, as I said, the Sharks, mate, I can see them dip out.
Cows at home, Dragons, Titans at home. Fuck, really? No
mate,
way.
They're playing shit.
Mate, the Cows this week is a telling game for them. That's about it, mate.
But the Cows have got a lot. They've got McLean coming back. They've got some players coming back. They'll be able to beat
That is
the Cows.
the dumbest thing I've ever... They got McLean coming back. Right. Really? Mm-hmm. McLean?
Mm-hmm. He's 1,000.
You're a fucking...
But he hasn't played all year, so he's going to be fresh.
It's taken an hour and a half for me to want to kill you.
Okay.
I think that their run home's too easy.
That's pretty quick.
The Dolphins, I'm concerned with the Dolphins they got a pretty tough run home. The game against the Warriors away this week is huge. They got the Roosters, which is huge. Manly, they play away. The Titans at home and the Raiders at home. That's a tough run home.
It's a tough run.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they fall out.
And the Roosters fall in?
Roosters could do it, yeah.
Roosters they got a tough run too.
Who the Roosters got?
I don't have that. Do I have that in front of me? Yes, I do. They have the Dolphins. The Roosters has the Dogs. And they have the Storm.
Yeah, okay.
So that's tough.
Manly Manly's run home isn't...
it doesn't really matter, right? Who comes, 7th or 8th, they're only making up numbers for the NRL to sell tickets anyway. So,
mate, I tell you, a smoky for the 8 for me is the Cows.
We'll see this weekend.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They got the Sharks, Eels, Knights at home, Tigers at Leichhardt, and Broncos at home.
We got the bye just before they play the Broncos.
That's right. So I'm not putting it past them. Who's the spoon?
You'd have to say the Rabbits, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
I'm not happy about that.
No, I'm not happy about it. I just think it's a fact. Yes, but I still think I can see the Tigers and the Titans playing in the Spoon Bowl in the last round.
Yeah, who's going to watch that dog shit?
Me.
You will. Be walking around the block swearing.
Yeah, because it'll be funny.
Dogs cowering under the lounge.
You got to hit something. It'd be funny too if the Bunnies need to win.
As long as it's not your wife, it'll be all right.
Well, we all know the victim in that relationship is. Jesus. I'm here in a safe.
You blink if you're a hostage, Jason.
I'm here in a safe room. Mate, it'd be funny if the Bunnies need to win the last game to avoid the spoon because they play the Roosters.
Oh, that'd be, yeah.
So that'd be a great game to watch.
Especially if the Roosters have got nothing to play for.
That's it.
Yeah.
You'd be loving it. Ideally, the NRL would love Roosters need to win to make the 8. Bunnies need to win to avoid the spoon. Like cracker.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move in. What's your bet of the round?
I've got that here. It's a Dogs game.
Oh, you have got it. I thought you haven't.
I do, mate. I got Dogs 13 plus. This is bravery, right?
What do you got?
This is brave.
Dogs
13 plus. Anytime Carraz, anytime Bronson Cherry, and I did have Connor Tracy in there, but he's hurt.
Is that the reason he's injured? Yeah. You touched on him?
Betfair, gentlemen. Anyone who wants to take any of our tips, Betfair as you go. Just lay the shit out of it.
All right, so you've
And we're not sponsored by
there
Benfield,
is dead
but
set
we'd
no
like to be.
I would literally get a tattoo of sports bet on my forehead if you want to sponsor me. What's the multi of the? What's it paying?
I think it's only paying about $3. I'll check for you, Jace. Just talk amongst yourself.
So that's your same game multi, right?
Yeah.
All right, so I've done the multi of the week and the same game multi of the week.
Well, I've done the multi of the weeks is what's the other one? Dolphins into Cowboys into Sharks into Jacob Carraz anytime.
What's that paying?
Listen, I'm fucking having a look, all right?
You have one job and you fucked that up.
My job's to do the production. Thank you very much. And I don't even do that very well.
All right, so my multi of the week, I've gone Cobbo and Mariner 2+ tries, $1.80, into Cleary, so Titans Panthers, Cleary 10 plus points, $1.77.
Yep.
Into Dogs -9.5 at $1.72. The start in that game, I can't understand.
Well, yeah, I agree.
They've given them 10.5.
Yeah, well, you got the Warriors at $2.21 to beat the Dolphins. I think that's worth the money.
Why are you getting everyone confused? So get on my multi, $5.92 boosted with sports.
People can play this back, if they want your multi.
They should want my multi. It's amazing. It's a fucking work of art. $5.92. So get on that. And then my same game multi, I've gone the Brisbane game. Because I just think South has too many injuries. I've gone Brisbane. So I've gone Reynolds 10+ points, Brisbane 13+, Cobbo and Mariner to score a try in the first half, and Mann and Walsh anytime try, as in you can actually do a combo, Mann and Walsh anytime between them.
Yeah.
$3.40.
Well, that's outstanding, Jason.
Oh, so that's that. So while you're fiddling with your fat thumbs to try and fucking give us a thing, I wouldn't bother either. It's rubbish. All right, so do you want to talk NFL?
Yeah, let's do that.
Just very briefly. NFL, I'm thinking the Ravens need...
Well, do you want to start on where we stand with the NFL? I'm a Giants supporter. They're the West Tigers of the NFL.
They are the West. I see Neighbours is injured.
Yeah, grab some dirt on it. Let's go.
And I'm an Eagles fan, which are world champions at this point. So one of
us... A guy that never celebrated the victory.
I couldn't because I was waiting for Kansas to come back. I was waiting. I just thought they're going to do a Tom Brady, Atlanta, New England game. I was waiting for it.
Okay, so I've got here who wins it all.
I'm going to go the Ravens. I think they step up.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're paying. I like the Ravens. So I think the Ravens will win it all. I think that Denver will be a big step up. I think Bo Nix has a lot about him that I like. I think Kansas City is always there because they're too good.
Yeah, I think they're my pick to go backwards.
Why?
Probably I just don't think you can continue to just be outstanding. They got lucky a lot last year.
They've got the blueprint though. You have a good quarterback, good tight end, solid receiver.
But they know how to win.
Yeah, they do. They need to improve their O-line because they were absolutely bashed by the Eagles. I think, look, Baltimore's favourite at $7. It's too short.
I like Cincy.
Funny enough, you mentioned I think they're going to be the most improved.
Don't fucking agree with me.
I just said most improved, mate.
I think Cincy. I think the only thing worries me is their D.
Hendrickson has gone back after his holdout, and they've got the first rounder that finally committed because they tried to put a clause in there that we won't pay you for off-field indiscretions. Right. And he fought that, and I think there's been a compromise. Which I
he loves to play up.
I think they're concerned about it, so they've tried to put it in the contract, and he refused to sign it.
Yeah.
He wanted all guaranteed money, and they said, yeah, we'll give you guaranteed money, but not if you're in jail.
Yeah.
And he said no. It's just ridiculous. Like, you challenge that every day of the week.
Cincinnati, for me, to win the whole thing. I just like Joe Barrow. He's just a freak.
Yeah.
Chase wide receiver is a freak. They've got some really good wide receivers, and I'm really excited to watch them play.
There's value everywhere in the NFL, though, mate.
Well, it's hard to pick a winner.
Steelers are $41.
Yeah, fuck Rodgers.
Yeah,
what do you want to talk about the NRLW next?
I'm waiting for it.
Fuck you.
Denver's 23. Houston's 21. Houston's not far away, mate. They had a lot of injuries.
You know the one that's interesting to me? Detroit.
$10.
I want to see Detroit, how they go with losing their
Coaches.
Their
OC and
coordinators.
DC.
I do wonder where they're at after they lose those boys.
Yeah, I don't know. I agree because the Eagles found it.
Just out of interest how they go. I don't think they can trouble, but they'll be there and thereabouts.
Unfortunately, it is a good point you raise, and I say unfortunately because that's twice now today you've raised good points, that they were the Eagles made the Super Bowl and lost to KC. They then lost all their DC and their OC, and then were shit.
Yeah,
like same team, but we're shit. Then they finally got good positional OC and DC, and then they win the Super Bowl. I think people underestimate how much of a difference it can make.
Oh, for sure.
And I think that, it'll be interesting for Detroit because also losing what they did, they were absolutely destroyed by Washington.
Yeah, the Redskins.
Yeah, and I think they're back.
Are they changing it?
Yeah.
Oh, Trumpy got his way?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, they've gone from the Commanders to the Redskins.
So they fucking should have.
Yeah, anyway. I agree. Yeah. So, and again, I think Washington will be interesting to watch because I love the idea of that young quarterback. I think he's got...
Daniels?
Oh, he's fucking...
he's a freak.
Yeah, I love watching it. So, yeah, so I think that is the NFL.
Well, I want to just go into our teams. Giants can't stop the run. They can't stop our O-line's run, which that shows you how bad they are. So I would be very happy with the Giants to win 5 games. If we win 5 games, I'm happy. If you've seen our draw, mate, seriously.
I think that your team can't stop stepping on their own dick.
Tigers.
I think you've drafted well with...
we have. And we've done some good trades as well.
Yeah, no team generally stays at the bottom, but you need a quarterback to bring you up. And I think you got Jackson Dart. I think
Wilson will get us. If our O-line holds, it'll be okay. But that's our issue.
Wilson.
We haven't had.
You want to go with Wilson? You ask Denver about that. This is
why you don't have to, mate. I like the bloke. He can air it out. We've got good wide receivers. We'll be fine. But we can't stop the run. So our D's got issues, and everyone will just be running on us.
I think the Eagles are in trouble in the sense
you say that every year.
The Eagles have lost a lot of players in free agency, including their 2 cornerbacks.
Okay.
If you can't stop the pass, this is a pass-heavy league now that if you can't stop the pass, you will not win. Last year, they were amazing. Their O-line's freakish. Saquon Barkley. I don't know if you know Saquon Barkley. He's a running back that the Eagles picked up. Where did we get him from, Dave? So we picked up.
Fuckwit. Oh, my God.
So I think...
Your poor wife.
I think that...
I got his jersey.
Can I have it?
Neither of us can fit in it.
I think we should seek sponsorship from Ozempic.
We should be. Monjura, is it called? Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll
for
see.
all your weight loss needs.
We'll see, but next month it all starts pre-season, so bring it on.
Absolutely. Cannot wait. And now into the horsies. Got anything for me with the horsies, Jace?
I haven't. It's too wet. It's a shit time of year. Bring on September.
Well, what are you looking forward to in the big race department?
There is none. There's none.
Coming up in the spring. Mate, at the moment, look, ladies and gentlemen, if you're a lady, you're out of your mind listening to this shit. I honestly believe that the horses are garbage at the moment. These benchmark races are rubbish. It's just awful. But
yeah, you're right. Like it is garbage. It's rubbish.
And you're just wasting your money.
You are. I love the spring. I love what the New South Wales Racing has done with the Spring Carnival now. With the Everest is phenomenal. They've gone the big races. They've gone investments in it. They're getting crowds. It's phenomenal. So I just love the big races as they come. I think Melbourne's lost its edge, mate. I think the Melbourne Cup is not what it used to be. Caulfield Cup, all that is it's a good day, whatever. But Sydney owns it, and they do it well.
Yeah, they do. Volandis is a freak, so I think he's great. I don't really have anything for this weekend. It's all garbage. It's going to be raining on the East Coast. It's going to be terrible.
It's not worth it, mate. Yeah, you're wasting your money.
Yeah.
And if you're $1.20 favourite, you'll lose. Like it is.
Well,
It's
then
just the point.
in Betfair, and you can lay the favourites.
That's what we should do. Whatever we back,
Yeah, we should just lay it.
yeah, we should do that. We should have a website of what we're betting on, so people see it and lay it. People will be so rich.
Yeah, they would.
Yeah,
I dusted my whole account.
it's not surprising.
It's gone.
How did you dust your whole account?
I got greedy.
You put it all on something and lost, didn't you?
Yeah, all on the Warriors.
You're an idiot. Why would you go head to head?
It was points. Points, and I got the head to head. I got one of the try scorers, and I had 48 plus and got rolled. And you said it's madness.
I did say that.
But you had half time, full time. First half, second half. Warriors win with Dylan to score, and it was paying like $8 or something. And I would have dusted it on that. So gamble responsibly, people, because you dust your money.
All right. I think
Rant of the week, Chase.
the rant of the week, I think, for me, is the rant of the season is this refereeing.
Yeah.
I saw some decisions, and I don't take this lightly, but, I've never blamed refs when I watch the Tigers play, ever. But the lower teams get absolutely raped and absolutely fisted when it comes to the refereeing. Now, you watch the Tigers play in the Cowboys match when two players of the Tigers got binned. One reason was 3 indiscretions in a row on the goal line. The referee actually said 3 in a row, you're in the bin. You can watch so many games this year, and it's been 4, 5 or 6 consecutive, no one's binned. I also then saw, I think, Adam Dewey given 10 in the bin for running a player off the ball in a kick chase. Was not in scoring position, but ran him off the ball. Professional foul, he's binned. Again, you can see that same decision over and over. No one's binned. I'd agree it's a penalty. Even in that situation, I didn't think it was worth a penalty. It did not look an obvious one, but the refereeing at the moment is changing the game. As in the game, it's changing it. You can have a team that would have, classic example, Parramatta and the Raiders. On a couple of weeks ago, Parramatta were in front. Come the second half, they got no set restarts and no penalties, I think, for the first 30-odd minutes of the second half. The Raiders came over the top of them. The refereeing is changing the whole game, and I think that's wrong.
Yeah.
And there's no accountability. You can't call it out. You can't do anything about it. It's bullshit.
I agree that the sides on the top of the ladder get refereed differently than the sides on the bottom of the ladder.
Yeah.
My rant of the week is, and you'll be stunned by this, is refereeing again. But it's more to do with they've dropped, is it Belinda Sharp, the female referee?
Why?
Well, she put a South player in the bin. How dare she?
But he got 4 weeks.
Yes. I actually think she's a good referee.
I completely agree.
Right? And he had Clemmer last year stand over the top of her.
He should have been given weeks.
I think he should have been given 6 weeks
I agree.
for standing over.
Because it's flowing into the younger grades.
Yeah.
And we both agree with this, which is rare. Mm-hmm. We can't stand certain players, I'll name Mitchell Moses as one. Anytime there's a play, they winch to the ref. Anytime.
Clothesline. He's got his arms in the air all the time.
24/7.
Yeah.
Enough's enough. Like, it's not right that the referees be treated like that during a game. If people are whinging like that, bin them.
But I think it's... Look, I'm not a fan of Ashley Klein.
No.
I think he's an absolute grub.
He's definitely not the best ref in the game, and don't start me about the decision in the Tigers-Cowboys game many years ago.
In saying that, right, if 110-kilo front rower stands over the top of Ashley Klein, that's very different than Clemmer or Whiten or a couple other players on the weekend standing over a woman because they don't agree with the decision. And my advice to Belinda would be, if they're in your face, put them in the bin.
100%.
Get into them early.
Yep.
Right? But I also think that the NRL should be standing up for female referees. And the Badge had the same issue where she had players standing over the top of her. Now, granted that I don't think the Badges anywhere near as good a referee as what Belinda is. But we need. I don't think it's a bad look for the game. And you know how I am with the NRLW. Like it's absolute shit and it's garbage.
We disagree on this. It reminds me
Mate,
of footy.
listen, this is my rant, not yours. Right, you can get on your NRLW love fest.
Cancelled,
right?
You, but keep going.
Kicking the table, nice job. Yeah. Thanks for that. Production has to fix that.
I've had enough of this shit. Go.
But I just think it's appalling that when we have women's issues with men, domestic violence and all the rest of it, I think it's a very bad look that the NRL isn't standing in support of Belinda and keeping her in the game, and dropping her is doing nothing for her confidence. And like they've dropped her most of the year based on last year, and they're given her dead rubber games, right? And now they've dropped her again. I think it's a bad move by the NRL, and I think they should be supporting her rather than putting her back on the sideline.
I just don't know why they dropped her. And that's the thing. Like, I'm sure.
I think it was because it was a 17-3 penalty count to the Sharks.
17-3.
Something like that. Don't quote me on it.
I've just quoted you on it. 17-3. You sure? It's not rugby union.
Well, it was pretty bad.
So Ashley Klein does what, a 9 or 8-0 penalty count in the first half of Origin.
Well, we did a 6-0 in the first game, New South Wales one. Done a 9-0 in the second one.
So again,
and then put his whistle away for the third one.
So the inconsistency, the NRL needs to step in, and because that's not right. I agree. They need to support the referees, and I'm critical of them, and I am, because I do feel, and it took Benji Marshall and Shane Richardson both came out finally to speak about the inconsistent refereeing and the decisions going against them.
Yep.
Now, there are times we've even spoken where the Tigers just don't get the rub of the green.
No, and more often than not.
That's right, and the average teams don't. But the NRL needs to come out and support them.
And I don't think the Sharks are in the same boat as the teams like St George and the Tigers and the lesser teams.
Yeah,
right? I think the Sharks get a bit of each way.
Yep.
All right, the Storm, they lay all over Blokes, wrestle the shit out of him, nothing, and then goes down the other end, completely different, refereed a completely different way because of a different side. And I think that's a big issue.
I agree, it's wrong.
Alrighty.
Well, that's it, folks. That is the very first episode of...
Hang on.
Oh, Christ. Sorry. Folks, that is it. That is a wrap. It's probably the first, and it may well be the last episode of Two Shit Blokes. But thanks for tagging along. We have to do a big thanks for the Hills Podcast Studio here at the beautiful Bella Vista Hotel. Thank you for having us. The only thing worse in our opinions, obviously, is our betting record, which is absolutely shithouse. But follow us along. You will see that for yourselves. Catch you next time. Hopefully there is a next time. Hopefully we don't get sued for anything we said. But if they do, good luck. We're both broke, so you can get 10% of nothing. Enjoy. Watch the footy. It's cracking. We're leading up to the finals. Sit back and enjoy. And just when the footy finishes, the NFL kicks off. So that's even better. All right, folks. From me, Jason, thank you for listening. And from Dave,
see you later.
Wow. What a corner man he is. Inspiring words. Thanks, everybody. Have a good day.
See you next week.